Hello and welcome to JagaVision, episode 58. I'm Jared Nyberg. I am a co-owner of JagaSilk, and we are in our 58th week. Today is going to be a fun show. We got David Booth joining us from Terrible Truffles. We're going to be talking chocolate. We're going to be drinking some Qimen Zhu Ye Zhong. We're going to be just going down memory lane a bit there. I've known David for a number of years now. It's exciting to have him on. He makes some really lovely truffles with our tea. We'll talk a little bit about that. Sherri from Sister Speak should be joining us as well from California. She's over there recording her third studio album, which is cool, and just be getting her 2 cents on stuff as well. Every episode, I really like to start off with just brewing up a tea that I've never had before. So today, I'm just going to drink one of these samples I got in from Yamaguchi-san over in Ujitawara in Japan. He sent me some really interesting looking hojicha. I'm going to brew it like we brew Fujioka's hojicha here at JagaSilk. I'm going to be doing 70 degrees centigrade. I'm going to be doing a 6-gram dose into 240 mils of liquid and see what happens. Not every hojicha is made the same, that's for sure. I find that some folks are doing a little bit bancha heavy, like leaf heavy. Some people are like what I'm seeing here. A lot of stem in that. Sometimes in different regions of Japan, when it's mostly a stem tea, they'll call it kukicha. And bancha can actually refer to just the stem being roasted. The name bancha seems to be meaning different things depending on what region you're buying it from. So, yeah, I'm kind of noting here what looks to me like an unusual appearance for what would be called a hojicha in Kyoto Prefecture. Okay, gonna preheat that teapot a little bit. And then this teapot filled to the brim is almost 240 grams to the nose. So I'm going to fill it to 240. Looks like doing the 2-minute brew time is in order if we're going to follow the parameters on the Fujioka hojicha. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, some exciting stuff coming down the line. We got, I was just on some calls with Mr. Takaki and Mr. Yamaguchi yesterday. Yamaguchi-san is going to be really a big part of our goal to explore microclimates a little bit more. So he has one lot called Kuro Mamezaka, which means black bean hill. But black beans in Japan are different from black beans in Canada. And he's gonna get us yabukita from there. A yabukita from Obuku is the other name of a different micro lot that he has. So we'll be exploring flavor from the Obuku micro lot. Should be fun. We're gonna be talking about what those microclimates do. He's pretty excited about an okumidori too that he's got growing in Obuku, and we carried it last year. We plan on carrying it this year as well. Doing a lot of work on making as many parts of his garden spray-free as possible, and we're excited that he's considering us a part of his future. So with your support, buying our matcha, we are able to support these kinds of transitions in these small-scale farms so that they can transition away from those terrible poisons. So saving the world one farm at a time. Let's see, 25 seconds. Better get myself a cup. So yeah, this is a hojicha. Yeah, I think it's a yabukita. So yabukita is a cultivar, again, cultivated variety, probably the most ubiquitous cultivar grown in Japan. It is one of, I would say you can generally find it about 75% of production in the country, using a lot of blends. It's considered sort of the standard. It's what a lot of people, if you for example, harvest times. Yabukita is considered the standard harvest day. So when you're choosing a cultivar from a nursery, you'll often say, hey, this is a +6, and a +6 would mean 6 days later than a Yabukita. So then you can stagger your harvest by getting a cultivar that's gonna produce leaves a little bit later in the game, and a -6 would be like 6 days earlier than a Yabukita, that kind of idea. So yeah, smells really nice. Yeah, smells really good. I've noticed with the gyokuros and senchas that I've been tasting from Yamaguchi that he's got this really interesting floral aromatic happening. Yeah, really nice. Well, that setting worked out well. So a little bit spicy. There's some cinnamon. Really pleasant caramelization. Tastes kind of like caramel corn. There's a brown sugar component that seems to be happening here. Yeah, that's really good. Just gonna give a glass to one of my staff here. Hey, JV, you gotta try that when you're. No worries. Okay, I think we have David on the line. David, are you there, man? Yeah. Oh, there he is.
Hi there.
Hi, David. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're in our 58th week, if you can believe it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been quite an educational journey. These sessions have been tons of fun. We've been having some really fun guests on, and it's a great excuse to sit down with business owners and actually take a moment to breathe and drink a cup of tea in amongst the chaos. So.
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't been able to attend any of the other sessions.
Oh no, it's all good. I'm really glad that you were able to make this happen. So I know you got a lot going on, so we'll keep it short and sweet today. But you want to tell everybody a little bit about Terrible Truffles and maybe Chocolate and Co. and introduce our viewers to what's going on in David Booth's chocolate world.
So my disclaimer with technology here. Please excuse my lack of proper positioning and ability. I was looking for my headphones and everything. Anyway,
it's all good. All good.
I'm good at making chocolates. I'm terrible at technology, and thankfully I have kids to help me Instagram and things like that. But
that's what the terrible refers to. It's a technological terrible. And then there's an abbreviation there, good at making chocolates. I'm into it.
We came up with the name as in you eat these and they're terribly delicious.
Right. Yeah. Fair.
So it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek a little bit. This is terrible. But terrible, the actual word terrible doesn't mean bad. It means something that creates awe or excitement as well. Like I have a terrible hunger. It means that you have a great hunger, so
right.
So these are great terrible truffles,
Yeah.
And so we're down here in James Bay at our home base, which is the Birdcage Confectionery. And it's on the corner of Government Street and Michigan.
Right, that's right. Right near the legislature building.
Correct, right behind the Parliament Legislature building. And we took over here about 5 years ago, built a commercial kitchen next door. We do baking here, fresh baked sourdough and other things for the store, croissant. Cool. And then we also make all the chocolates here. I don't know if you can see sort of far back, but there's my storage room with hundreds of pounds of chocolate. So single origin cocoa beans that are processed in a factory in Belgium. Not using any soy lecithin, just cane sugar and cacao and and then milk if it's a milk chocolate or a white chocolate.
Can you explain soy lecithin? I know this is a thing. Like I have some chocolate junkie friends who that they search out chocolate that doesn't have soy lecithin in it. Yeah. Why is soy lecithin used, and why do you choose not to use it?
It's an ingredient that's been long time used by the Europeans when processing cacao, and it sort of helps with the emulsification of the cocoa and the sugar and the cocoa butter.
Making it all equally distribute. For those who are wondering what emulsification means, it's like an equalized distribution of texture, right?
Yeah, it makes it smooth.
Right.
It is possible to make nice and smooth chocolate without that added emulsifier. The soy lecithin has been the one that's been used. And quite frankly, I don't see a need for it. And I'm able to find products that don't have that, and it just makes it one less ingredient. And there are some people, very few people that I've met, but some of my customers that have a sensitivity or an allergic reaction to soy products or a lecithin of any sort, really. And so, yeah, it's just easier to say, this has cacao and cane sugar, and there's vanilla. And some people are adverse to having vanilla, even because they're total purists.
Yeah.
But I don't mind the vanilla. It's pure vanilla. It's real stuff, and it just kind of enhances the flavor of the chocolate.
I've heard that what is it that's in chocolate? Theobromine? Is that a thing? Theo something.
Theobromine.
Yeah.
Is the enzyme. Yeah.
I heard that vanillin, the in vanilla, helps your body to interact with theobromine a little bit more easily, so that it's less of an intense effect on your system. It helps ease it, so it kind of slows down the absorption and makes this actually oftentimes very beneficial component of chocolate that can overwhelm people and kind of cause some issues in some, and it can help with those that have sensitivities. So there is actually a benefit to vanillin and its interaction with theobromine in chocolate, which is kind of interesting.
You're okay. You're drinking tea without me.
Oh, I
feel left out.
Okay, all right. Let's. I was drinking a Hojicha. No, let's do it. So what do we got? What is our? We're gonna have some tea. We're gonna have some chocolate. It's gonna be amazing. What do we have for preparation equipment? Do you have a little teapot? Do you have a jar? Do you have a cup and a sieve? What do we got going on?
I got a nice pottery mug and a sieve.
You know what's nice about that mug there is it's kind of spherical, and it helps the tea spin with convection currents to properly extract flavor. So that's actually an ideal mug for that. How much does it hold? If you put that mug on a scale and tare it and fill it with water, how much does it comfortably hold?
I'm guessing about 400 milliliters, but yeah, where's my scale?
It's coming. Okay, maybe we can give that a quick double check, and then we're gonna make an ideal cup of tea here. David, we're gonna be working with the Qimen Zhu Ye Zhong. And when I say ideal cup of tea, I mean an ideal cup of tea from our perspective. Everybody has, of course, their own ideal cup of tea. What we're trying to achieve when we're dialing in a tea at JagaSilk is we really want to have a good sense of ratio of tea to water. We also want to have a good sense of like our temperature when we finish that extraction, and we're going to control that with a timer. We want to be tasting some texture. We want to be getting a really nice opening, a good finish, some nice aromatics, and we want to have what we call a fourth pulse, where after you've finished it and you've swallowed the liquid, there's like a waft of flavor that comes afterwards, and that's kind of what we're shooting for. And this is from a farmer named Cao Fei. The Qimen is often spelled Keemun, and it's often a smoky tea. We spell it Qimen because that's what the updated pinyin spells it as, but they're the same thing. But okay, so what do we got for weight of water?
350.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's plan around. Do you have anything that you can? So when you finish brewing and you're going to pour through that sieve, do you have a cup that you're going to pour into that also holds 350, or is that cup that you're going to pour into?
I got two of these.
You got two of them. Amazing. Okay, so why don't we plan around? Let's plan around 300, so we have a nice amount of room. could you preheat that that cup?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna preheat mine too. I'm gonna actually see exactly what this comfortably holds, and we're looking at. So my teapot comfortably holds 120 mils, so that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna weigh out, for me, I'm gonna put in 120 divided by 60 is 2. I'm gonna put in 2 grams. You're doing 300 divided by 60. That's, give me a second here. 240 is gonna be 4 grams. That's 5 grams. So can you put in 5 grams of the Qimen that I gave you?
Okay. I just want to angle this so you can see with my hands a little bit.
Yeah.
Better. It's hard to see my.
Yeah, we can see the logo on your jacket. Can't see your hands so well. But oh, you're there. Okay. You know what?
Right. If I back up a bit.
Yeah. I think
better?
totally. We can see that. It's a little bit low in the frame, but yeah, we can see that.
So you can see my belly.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 grams. Yes.
Yes. And when you what's really cool is when you put it into the preheated teapot, you're gonna have, or in the preheated cup, the heat off of the cup is actually gonna stimulate some of those volatile oils to blast off of the leaves. So what that means is you're gonna get a really good sense of the dry aroma, putting those leaves into that hot teapot.
Okay.
Doesn't that smell amazing? Like roses and cacao. Can I say cacao to a chocolate man?
You can. Yeah.
Okay. Are you picking up cacao and the aromatic on this tea like I am?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna set a timer for 3.5 minutes. Okay. Do you have a timer over there, or should we just use mine and just pour at the same time?
We got one. Yeah.
Okay.
Or whatever. We can pour at the same time. So I'm gonna pour
300 grams onto the 5 grams of tea.
Okay.
And 1 gram is the same as 1 milliliter. So if you were using a measuring cup, you could do that too. It's just mass is so much more accurate. So,
I know.
So.
You don't have to tell me that.
Yeah, man. So I'm doing 120. I press go on the timer the moment that the water hits. I don't know. Should probably tell that to the audience. And when you forget to do that, you can just sort of make it up in terms of how much time you missed. So if you think it took you 10 seconds to start the timer, then go to 320 instead of 3.5. That kind of idea. Okay. So,
I put like an extra 10 milliliters by accident or something,
it's percentages. I think it's way more important to be accurate with your like the resolution for your tea. If you have 5 grams and if you were 10 grams over on that would obviously be a big problem. And I like to use a 0.1 gram scale for my tea leaves. But for my water weights, 10 grams is a little bit more than I normally like, but it's not the end of the world. Especially when we're talking 300 mils. If you're doing like me, 120 mils, then 10 grams is a bigger deal because of the difference in total volume and the percentage that would be. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we're brewing away. That's going to be 3.5 minutes. Do you want to tell me a little bit about and tell the viewers about this chocolate that we're going to eat? Do you have one over there too, or are you going to be eating a different chocolate? Do you still eat chocolate? Are you sick of chocolate?
I eat chocolate every day.
Okay.
It's, very important.
Good. Quality control.
So you've got a London Fog one there?
That's a London Fog one. I went over to your new location there that you have as a cooperative effort with some other chocolate makers in town.
I think I've got a London Fog one here.
Sweet. Okay. What is?
It'll look a little different than yours because I drizzled those ones in white chocolate. This one I drizzled in milk chocolate.
Okay.
So, but it's the same truffle inside.
So why? So what does? So we have a London Fog that we micro mill the crimson tea, aka black tea. We fold in some vanilla bean sugar that we make in house. We scent it with an oil of bergamot. It's kind of like this really interesting matcha-inspired stir-in London Fog that's used for tea lattes. And and you've used it in the mixture of the cream inside of a truffle, and then you've wrapped it in a milk chocolate, a dark chocolate. I believe this is a milk chocolate.
It's a dark chocolate.
It's a dark chocolate. Okay, so
These are the matcha ones I made yesterday.
oh, very nice, very nice. Okay, here maybe you can show that again. I'm gonna blow up the screen. There we go. Very nice. Okay, cool. So what does tea do in sort of your flavor expression? Like when you're putting together your chocolates, what is like why would you choose to use tea? What are some of the challenges and what are some of the benefits?
Like the thing I love about chocolate is all the. Let me stop my timer here. I don't know. Maybe mine was at 3 minutes. Yours is at 3.5, right?
Yeah.
The chocolate is so versatile, and there's so many different flavors that pair well with it. And I do lots of the traditional hazelnut, coffee.
Nice timer. Okay. Yeah.
There we go. I do cassis, blackcurrant, lots of different fruit flavors, orange, raspberry.
How do you identify flavors that are going to pair well with chocolate?
Trial and error.
Trial and error. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you sort of use a best guess,
okay.
and then you try out. I'm trying new flavors all the time.
And see if it works.
And when I met you and started to incorporate matcha, that was like an instant hit. and then trying out the masala chai and the London fog, and I mean, it's hard to go wrong. Like my colleague says, you can dip shoelaces into chocolate and people will buy them.
No.
You can dip almost anything in chocolate and it will taste good.
Oh jeez. Do you have any shoelace chocolate?
No.
Okay. We're gonna hold off on that one. Okay. So when I am making, like, when my dessert chef here at JagaSilk is making daifuku, for example, we use it's like mochi on the outside, which is a little bit sweet. There's red bean on the inside, that's also sweet. And there's like this really interesting texture that's very reminiscent of refried beans, but it's sweet. And in Japan, that texture is more commonly part of like a dessert. And so when many Japanese people travel to, say, Latin America, they often are surprised by the saltiness of a texture that they expect to be sweet, and then vice versa, right? So what I find when I'm testing out stuff that kind of is like one of my favorite desserts of all time is this strawberry daifuku, which is the strawberry with the red bean. And the reason I bring this up is because it's the sourness in the strawberry that does such a good, like we experimented with using dates, where I have some amazing dates from Saudi Arabia through Dakti Dates, this fantastic importer, and the owner actually used to work here. And he, we chopped them up and we put them into the daifuku, and it was like kind of like this. It was too sweet, and it was like the acidity from the strawberries we realized is what. And so like we were having kiwis from Vancouver Island, and they were just so sour. And then I was like, hey, you know what? Those inside of a daifuku might work. And so then we tested it out, and it worked so nice. And there was like we realized that it's having that acidity and finding and identifying ingredients that are acidic and then putting those in with this kind of sweet bean paste seems to be doing something really awesome. And I'm wondering if there's
the tea out of here. Do I need to strain?
Sorry, at the 3.5 minute mark, you strain it. I took it too long. You're probably gonna have a very unpleasant brew now. I'm sorry. You wanna strain it at 3.5. You can take it to 4 minutes. This tea. 5, you might find it a little harsh. You might need to post dilute a bit, like add a little bit of hot water to make it palatable, or it might just be a very, very strong but delicious tea.
No, it's nice.
Yeah.
Full body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not bitter.
It'll probably go very well with chocolate, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So this was the idea, is that I would taste this, get that kind of rose cacao thing happening. There's like a potato chocolate. Yeah. It's good to, when you're sipping tea, to do exactly what you're doing there, and do a slurp. But something else you can do is you coat your palate with your first sip, and then second sip, you kind of hold a little bit of the liquid on your tongue, and then if you blow a little air out your nose and hold your breath for a moment, it really focuses those aromatics in those smelling sensors behind your nose there, and you get this really good clear sense of flavor. Yeah, I love this tea. So I'm gonna have this London Fog truffle now, and then I wanted to understand, like, do you find that tannins interact with the chocolate in an interesting way? Because that's kind of what I'm imagining here. Is there can there be too much of a good thing? Like, what happens when you use too much tea?
Well, it gets expensive if you use too much good quality tea.
Right.
But I mean, you want to find a nice balance. I found, like, the natural fats of the cocoa butter, combined with the cane sugar that's in there, the sweetness. Find the call. I'm just gonna end that.
Sure.
Okay. I'm back. They can hold a pretty incredible amount of, like, flavors, and even acidity and astringency. Like, you can have pretty bold flavors, and the chocolate and the cocoa butter and the sugar, like I said, will be able to incorporate that.
Your head is chopped off as you're speaking. Do you think you could? There you go. Perfect. Okay. That's interesting. So you find that the limitation for how much tea you use is fairly economically based. Like, you don't find that you can put too much in, and you start to, like, overwhelm the equilibrium of chocolate to tea. And, like, what would like, I'm just kind of wondering if you've taken it that far where you've gone to an extreme amount of tea and found that it gets quite unpleasant.
Well, I guess it would get bitter after a little while. It would, but I mean, you would need a heck of a lot of tea, I think. And by then, it's like, well, why am I spending all this money? It's not improving the flavor.
Right.
Like, from initially, I'm going to share some tea with my wife here.
Oh, nice. Hello, Blassa.
Hi, hello.
Hello. Excellent. Blessa's the other owner of Terrible Truffles. Thank you for helping out here. That's awesome. Yeah. I call I say I'm the talking head, and my wife's the brains of the operation. It's how it works here at JagaSilk.
So the man may be the head of the house, but the woman is the neck, and she just turns head wherever she wants.
Oh, jeez. That's interesting.
Anyway.
Oh, you're gonna get splashed. Okay.
I know.
Okay. So we're talking about too much tea. And how, so, like, I guess I'm trying to wonder, like, how you find your flavor balance, because do you just kind of, like, use as little as possible until you find, like, and then, like, it's little bit more, okay, there it is. Is that kind of how you find, like, what does your R&D look like?
Well, like, I started my batch of matcha ganache starts, it's a 2 kilograms white chocolate with about 1.5 liters of liquids, cream and butter.
Right.
And then I started with 20 grams, and then I went to 30 grams of matcha, and then now I'm using 40 grams. And part of it is, it tastes better. I just suck up, it's increasing the cost of the truffles, but it's worth it, because not only do you get that taste, but in the case of the matcha, you get that beautiful color. There's no food color in here. I'll cut one open so you can see.
Okay.
Like you, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You get that beautiful color, and I love telling people, look, I don't use food colors. I don't add any food colors, and that beautiful color and texture is all from the matcha. In the case of the London Fog, you have to take into consideration with your London Fog mix, there's a bit of sugar in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to make it overly sweet. So I end up using a darker chocolate which has less sugar in it to compensate, so that the London Fog, you call it mix or
the blend, the blend.
It has a bit of sweetness to it. So the 71% or 73% Vietnam origin I've been using just incorporates really, really well with the London Fog.
So when you've obviously then done this experiment with milk chocolate, and it wasn't as successful because of the sugar in the London Fog.
I haven't done the London Fog with milk chocolate. I've done the masala chai in milk chocolate, and you know what? I mean, people have different tastes, and I mean, my milk chocolate is certainly less sweet than the stuff you buy in the grocery store already. So I don't find it too sweet. I mean, if you're, a dark chocolate fan to begin with, and as dark as possible, you'll find any milk chocolate too sweet already. And so a little bit of extra sugar in the masala chai blend, it's not gonna turn anybody away. So
Yeah, makes sense.
if you're eating caramels, I mean, you gotta have a bit of a sweet tooth. Right?
I kind of look at the difference between dark chocolate and milk chocolate as sort of like the difference between like a latte and a little macchiato, or an espresso, because you got to take little tiny bites of a dark chocolate to truly understand what makes it delicious. Whereas milk chocolate, there's more milk powder in there and sugar. You're getting less chocolate in the same amount of volume, really. And the bites that you take are more pleasant when they're larger, is what I find. And I really enjoy, I don't know, it just depends on where I'm at. Like sometimes I just want to snack on some chocolate and not be a super intensive moment with it. Whereas there's times when I'm eating chocolate, I'm I really want to understand, the whole, there's the chocolates with that the farmer and the harvest is this and that, and the cultivar and all that, and those are really fun to just really, really focus on. But it's also interesting to just enjoy a milk chocolate in a more recreational. I don't know. They're both recreational. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. But
I have different moods. People always ask me, so what's your favorite truffle? That's like asking me which of my 3 kids I love the most. Right? you have different moods. Yeah. Really. Today, or at this time of day, I'm really craving something that has almost no sweetness. Right. Then I'll go for I'll just eat a cocoa bean, or I'll just eat a 100% cacao bar or something. If you just want the chocolate but none of the sweetness, right? Like you have your espresso, and that's it. Right. And if you have a sweet tooth, which I do from different times of the day, I'm craving a little bit of sugar. A milk chocolate or a white, or something, a latte with caramel or whatever, I mean, that kind of satisfies the palate.
Fair. Yeah, no, I'm into it. I think that I agree that it really depends on the mood, the moment. I find with my tea, it's very similar. Right now we're having a Qimen Zhu Ye Zhong, but it doesn't. And I also find it's what I'm having it with, right? If I've seen some really interesting beer and chocolate truffle pairings that they do over at Spinnaker's here in town. It's kind of a cool thing. And I imagine that choosing the right truffle for the right beer, or with the teas, it's just what I'm going to have with it. That definitely plays a role in what tea I'm going to drink. So there's the moods, and there's also the moments. It's the moods and the moments that seem to.
Well, and the pairing, like you said.
Yeah, totally.
If I'm having a sweet dessert, I'm having a piece of cake. I want a beverage like a tea or a coffee that has no sweetener in it.
Totally.
And that way, it sort of offsets what you're eating. So.
David, I know I could only have you for half an hour today, and we're coming up to in about 2 minutes. I just wanted you to start your next steep, so you can actually taste the second steep of this tea. It's quite lovely.
Okay.
And you want to make a little bit of room for the tea absorption, which was about 10 grams. So the second steep, instead of putting 300 grams on, just put on 290 grams ish of boiling water. And ideally, it's a rolling boil. The second steep is 4 minutes instead of 3.5.
Okay, let me bring this to a boil again.
Okay, awesome.
And I'm using the same 5 grams that I had.
It's the same leaves. This is the second infusion. And there's another way of having this tea that's quite lovely is you can actually drop down your liquid amount quite considerably. You could use those same 5 grams of leaves, and instead of doing a 3.5 minute extraction, instead of doing 300 grams of water, you could do something called Gong Fu Cha style, which is like it's the same characters as Kung Fu, and you would just put 120 grams of boiling water on it, and you would brew it for about 15 seconds, like this flash infusion. And then you'd strain that out, and you'd drink this little 4-ounce cup, and you would get tons of layers of infusions out of those leaves, and it's a really fun way to enjoy it. So ideally, though, that's done in a really tiny teapot, like a little 4-ounce teapot, or you can get those, those little mini mason jars, those little 4-ounce mason jars. That's a great way to do it too. You can throw 4 or 5 grams of tea into one of those jars, and then just fill them up with boiling water and do 50.
300 grams.
You're gonna do 290.
290.
Yeah, go short on the 300, and you're going to brew this one for 4 minutes. Okay, did you have any thing you wanted to say about the tea there? Any final comments that you wanted to say to the audience? Maybe you can also tell them where they can find your chocolates if they're looking for you online and that kind of stuff before we say goodbye today.
Well, you should definitely buy this tea. It's very good.
Okay, nice. Good to hear.
And you should you can find that at the JagaSilk shop there in the court, of course. So I mentioned our James Bay location here, the Birdcage Confectionery, it's called, 501 Government Street, corner of Michigan and Government. You can find us there. We sell fresh flowers, the sourdough breads, and fresh baked goods, and the chocolates, and a variety of groceries and things. And then we also opened the Chocolat & Co., which is dedicated to chocolate and all things chocolate and beverages and things. And that's down on Fort Street, 703 Fort Street, right near the corner of Douglas.
And that's a cooperative effort, right? With Uncouth and was it David Mincy?
The Chocolate Project.
Yeah, awesome.
Provides bean to bar handmade chocolates from around the world. So we have a selection of those. Uncouth Chocolate grinds their own cocoa beans right here in Victoria. They are also partners with us, and they have a selection of their bars and bonbons and drinking chocolates and things like that in the shop. And then all of my truffles, caramels, nut barks, dried fruits, and hot beverages. And I'm getting into ice cream as well.
I saw that. I saw an ice cream sandwich too. I was like, oh, that's exciting. Got to go and try that.
Sandwiches, ice cream bars, limited supply right now. I've got a new machine coming in the next month and a half or so to be able to produce more handmade ice creams and bars and stuff. So come and check it out.
Exciting times.
703 4th Street.
And then terribletruffles.ca or .com?
Terribletruffles.com.
I think I put the wrong. Better adjust that.
I think the .c is registered .ca, and you can probably it links.
Okay.
But
I don't know why I got it into my head that it was a .ca.
I never set a timer for my second steep.
Okay. I'm actually at about 4 minutes right now.
I think I'm a little less, but I think it's safe to strain now.
Yeah. So thank you for coming on. Big high five to Vlasta as well, and a huge appreciation to you guys. It's been a number, like how long we've known each other. Like I feel like it's been 10 years plus, but
definitely.
Yeah.
I would say probably about 12.
Yeah. So it's been a while, and
we keep talking about playing some music together, but that hasn't happened yet.
It'll happen. We'll get there. I got actually a music video that I just did with the band Truth and Dolphin. So one of these days we'll get you out doing the stand-up bass, my friend, and we will jam. We just need to make that decision. Make it happen. We'll have fun.
I'll check out some of your other shows, and I'll improve my my self video technology as well.
It's you. I actually you don't even want to try and go and look at my early videos. Like, I think I've done a number of episodes where the first half of the show was completely muted. I forgot to turn on the audio, and so I could hear the guest, but the audience couldn't hear anything. And it's just like 30 minutes of absolutely no audio. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
My daughter's actually in her third year of film, television, media production out in Toronto at Ryerson.
Wow. Okay.
We can't say the word Ryerson, but
okay.
But
why do I get the feeling like you get yourself in trouble just all day?
Anytime I open my mouth.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But, I'll get her to give me some training when she comes out to visit and learn how to do videos and things like that. You know?
Good call. Yeah, it's a process. I'm definitely still I'm learning myself. But thank you for coming on the show, David. It's been a pleasure having you on. I would love you to. It's too bad. It looks like Sister Speak wasn't able to join us today.
Say hi to her for me.
I will definitely do so. And yeah, just it'll be good if you want to check out this episode. You'll find archive versions youtube.com/JagaSilk, and you can look up episode 58. It should be posted and in the archive by late tonight. But yeah, thanks for coming on. People can find you terribletruffles.com. Your Instagram is @terribletruffles and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the tea there, my friend. And we'll see more of you. And I believe we'll be doing a matcha knowledge seminar later this month. And
lined up.
Awesome, cool. All right, well, thank you so much.
Take care.
Okay, you take care as well. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was David Booth with Terrible Truffles. He's also a member of that cooperative effort that's running the Chocolate & Co. They're on Fort and Douglas here in Victoria. So if you ever want to pop by, you'll know that Uncouth and the Chocolate Project and Terrible Truffles are all in cohorts there. You can also check them out at Bird Cages. This little boutique shop near the legislature. Knowing him for 12 years, it's been fun just going back and forth with teas and chocolates, and we've been selling his truffles here at JagaSilk off and on. Really enjoy what he has to say and what he's doing with his work there. So yeah, we'll see you hopefully again next week. If you're watching an archive version of this show, or if you're watching live, if you click the bottom subscribe button and then you click on the bell, it'll give you a notification for when we go live, so that you know that this is happening. And you can always join us in the chat room, ask us any questions that you might have, all that kind of fun stuff. Next week we're going to have Jacob Safe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Joining us all the way from Czech. We're going to be drinking some Okamidori Okuda. So if you want to buy some off of our webpage on jagasilk.com and drink along with us, that would be tons of fun. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next week, Thursday, 1 o'clock, Victoria time.